what I do in the essay is I talk about coming to Maine and how that felt like such a diminishment for me, because I'm from Connecticut. I went to school in Boston, the Athens of America, hub of the universe, right? And what am I doing in Maine, where the winters, and I literally, before I came to Maine, I had nightmares at night of driving up the Maine Turnpike, and as I drove farther north, the snow got deeper and deeper. Mm. So for me, those limits, I wasn't ready to recognize a lot of my own limits. I mean, I was still maybe 31, I think, something like that. I wasn't really able at that point to recognize my own limits, but God knew them, and God brought me to Maine, because here was a place where the giftedness could find room to grow without feeling the pressure of thinking I had to do things which I have no gifts for, thinking I had to do things that are beyond those limits, because we're all tempted beyond what our limits are, I think. Okay? Even in simple little things, we're all tempted to do things that maybe God isn't even asking.
But that's kind of reassuring that one's vocation is, it's going to be okay.
That's right.
You don't have to push it beyond what it is.
That's right. That's exactly right. And so to pick up on the second part of your question, kind of about as we age, I think that's okay too. Mm-hmm. You know, our society, our culture has, and it's not just here in Maine or in the States, I think Western society in general has lost the sense of age and wisdom. Mm. We are totally fixated on youth and cleverness, and we've lost a sense that with age should come wisdom. And so I think when we think about aging, yes, it is a diminishment in certain respects. I remember saying to a good friend of mine, several years ago, we had actually gone into Hallowell to watch the fireworks over the river, and I was watching kids running past, and I looked at her, I said, Teresa, I think my running days are over. It just those things happen, but acceptance of those limits, I think, is actually part of wisdom.
You were talking about materialism, and that's something you touch on in several of the sections of the book.